Thank you for joining us on this special additional broadcast to the regular weekly Horse Talk show. This broadcast is to bring you all of the local connections from the Ocala, Marion County and surrounding area to the Run for the Roses, the Kentucky Derby, and also the Kentucky Oaks. This special broadcast is brought to you by our presenting sponsors, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care and Larson Farm, and our supporting sponsors, Piranha Animal Health, Seminole Feed Stores, the CEP's Equine Initiative, and Ocala Dog Ranch. Each year there are so many local connections to both the Derby and the Oaks, and even all of the undercard races on those days. But let's start with the Kentucky Derby, the two most exciting minutes in sport. This is the 151st time the Kentucky Derby has run, and we have, as usual, more than half of the horses connected to the Kentucky Derby either made their start in Ocala, Marion County, were bred here, or have some connection. So Sandman was actually consigned by Tom McCrocklin, one of our local trainers here, and is currently trained by Hall of Fame trainer Ocala's Mark Casse. We like claiming him as our own. Owen Almighty is a grad of the iconic Ocala Stud Farm. Neocross, we're very excited about, is a Florida bred who was actually born at Pleasant Acres Stallions in Williston and was also consigned and trained by Abbey Road Stables also. Rodriguez made his start with Eddie Wood Stables, as did Citizen Bull, and is trained now by Bob Baffert. Built actually started his training at Harris Training Center in Morriston. American Promise, a little Fort McCoy action there from Woodside Ranch, where he graduated from Brian Rice's training. Journalism is owned in part by Bridlewood Farm right here in Ocala. Beza started their training with Mayberry Farm, and you know April Mayberry's team are always ones that give a great start to these horses. Grande started with Carl Keegan at Luke and Bloodstock in Ocala. Burnham Square is a Lamb Home South grad. East Avenue is a Bridlewood grad, as is Sovereignty. And Render Judgment also connected here to Dominic Brennan, who trained him at the Summerfield stables of Kenny McPeak. So lots of connections, as always, to the Kentucky Derby, and now we're going to give you the Oaks. La Cara is a Mark Casse trained filly. Tenma is a grad of Waver Tree Stables. Goswell's Delight also started with Dominic Brennan at Kenny McPeak's stables in Summerfield. Take Charge Milady, also trained by Dominic Brennan at Kenny McPeak's stables. Waver Tree Stables started Maysam. Not sure if Maysam is running or not yet. Another Eddie Wood Stables grad is also running in the Oaks, and that's Good Cheer. And 5G started her training with Stephen Venosa at SGV Thoroughbreds. So my goodness, over half the Derby horses and definitely half of the Oaks horses. Now I am going to mention here with these connections, with a week still till these races run, obviously there are changes all the way up to the start of these races when horses can scratch. So it could change, and we could have additional connections that we missed, but we try to bring you as accurate a picture as we can of as many of those connections that we can possibly track down. So if we missed one and you're one of those, we would love to hear from you, and you can reach out to us on Facebook at the Horse Talk Show. So we've got some great interviews for you. We have a chance to chat to Tom Ventura. He is the president of OBS, Ocala Breeder Sales. Many of these local horses go through Ocala Breeder Sales, so we enjoyed talking to him about the success of OBS, with also a mention for decoupling, which is obviously a huge concern facing the racing world. Tom McCrocklin also joins us, Hall of Famer Mark Casse. We have a few words also from Jacinta Vasquez, of course the only jockey to ever ride a racehorse that beat Secretariat. Some words also from Hall of Fame turf writer Steve Haskin, who shares some of his wisdom with us. David O'Farrell from the iconic Ocala Stud. Helen Barbizon, co-owner of Pleasant Acres Stallions, where Neocross was bred. So lots and lots of great local folks to hear from their opinions on the Derby, and we're very, very excited as we look forward to these great races. And the fact that Ocala, Marion County and the surrounding area certainly makes it onto the world stage every single year. We hope you enjoy this broadcast, and again, thank you to our sponsors for making it possible. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and also for the CEP's Equine Initiative. And we are at Ocala Breeder Sales, known as OBS. And we're visiting with Tom Ventura, who is in charge of all of this. So this is the OBS Spring Sale. And Tom, it's lovely to have you with us again.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate all being here.
Fantastic.
This is an exciting time of year.
Well, we love it because this is such a huge part of what makes the equine industry so successful here. This is such an economic driver, such a huge part of everything we do at the CEP and everything that we chase at the Horse Talk Show. And we love what happens here. 1,207 horses in this book is amazing. Let's start for our newer listeners and viewers with what is OBS?
So Ocala Breeder Sales started 50 years ago. This is our 50th year.
Wow.
So the founders, felt it important that there was a presence here in Florida to sell our horses. Group of people got together. Here we are 50 years later. We have 29 barns. We sell 4,000 horses a year. This is the biggest sale that we have. It's actually the biggest sale of its kind. It's a 2-year-old in training sale. And just to kind of put it in understandable terms, the 2-year-old in training sales, the horses work out on the racetrack prior to the sale, and then they sell, 3 days after they're done. So for the football fans of the world, this is the NFL Combine for horses.
That's a wonderful way to describe it.
It's now draft day. Today is draft day. We're selling horses right now.
That's amazing. So the horses basically show what they can do on the track, breezing and then galloping out, and people can come actually and watch that. Or if they come later, they can watch the videos here in the video room of the horse working. And then the horses are seen and viewed in and out of the barns for several days. People are looking. I've had them tell me they make a long list and then they get down to a short list. And then of course they come and the bidding starts. Very exciting sale. It's exciting to watch these horses go for such incredible money. And so often we see these 2-year-olds leave this sale, go on to their training track with their trainer and end up in the Derby Gates, the Preakness, the Belmont, the Breeders' Cup, and so many other graded stakes races.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's fun for what we do. The horses run at distances that just short distances, just to give people an idea of how they move. They go against the clock. They're electronically timed. We stream it for the people that aren't here. And then, this is sale day. And then after that, it's important that they go on and run. And that's why on the cover of the catalog that you have is a horse that won the Champagne Stakes last year, Chancer McPatrick, which is one of the most prestigious 2-year-old races. And Kentucky Derby's coming up, and we have a horse that has a good chance in that.
I met Chancer McPatrick at the Breeders' Cup and had a chance actually to interview the daughter of the owner, and she was so in love with Chancer McPatrick and had such a great relationship with him. It was just lovely to chat to a young girl that was so excited about, young lady I should say, who was so excited about racing and about her father having this wonderful horse. So I love that it's on the front of here. It's a great fit. It's a great fit. So tell us why you feel our trainers locally here have so many successful grads, because we really see so many grads, especially through the OBS sale, that go on to do great things. Obviously our weather's huge, but we really do have some top trainers here.
Yeah, I think, we, OBS, are only as good as the horses we get to sell. And we're in a county, in an area, tri-county area, that really is the horse business, and have attracted not only the top horsemen, but all of the peripherals, the veterinarian care, the blacksmiths, the clinics, and that everything is here. So yes, we have great weather, we have good land, but we have to have the people with the talent to bring it out, and that's what we have here. And the fact that during this time of year, when people are still looking at snow flurries in parts of the world, we have the weather that we're having, which this sale actually has been incredibly beautiful. It keeps these horses on a steady routine, and it allows the people that have the talent to get the best out of the horse they have.
That's amazing. And you have 5 sales a year?
We have 5. We have January sale is a mixed sale where we have some brood mares, we have some babies, a little bit of everything. The March, April, and June sale are 2-year-old sales, and OBS is the largest seller of 2-year-olds in the entire world. We sell over 75% in the United States, and then in October we have a yearling sale. So there's always something happening, and it's open for everybody. If there's ever a time for somebody to come and enjoy something like this, they can look at the horses, they can interact, they can watch the bidding. Be careful about raising your hand. But it's something different. It's not like an antique auction where people have paddled, so there's a little cat and mouse to it, but it's really a fun environment. If you've never been to a horse sale, you need to really come and enjoy it.
Wonderful. So looking towards the Derby now, coming right up, it's pretty exciting that we always see these connections again and again that show up in the Derby gate that went right through here.
Yeah, so this year, we have a horse called Sandman who won the Arkansas Derby, which is the one of the major preps for the Kentucky Derby. He'll be one of the top 2 or 3 choices, I believe, in the Kentucky Derby. He was sold right here by Tom McCrocklin for $1.2 million. He was bought by a conglomerate which includes DJ Stable in West Point and several others, and is trained by Mark Casse. If there's ever a homegrown Ocala person, it's Mark Casse. He's been here since he was a baby, and he's been training for 47 years and in 2 Hall of Fame. So it would be phenomenal, not only for us, because that's how we sell, by putting him on the cover maybe next year. It just brings attention to the area, and that's something that you can't buy, but it's something, personally I would enjoy because of the people that are connected to it.
That's right. I would love to see Mark Casse have a Derby win. That would be super special, wouldn't it?
It would. It certainly would.
And we have some
And he
other great
deserved it.
connections too, as well, with journalism, Rodriguez, Citizen Bull. We got quite a few that we're going to chat about in this broadcast, so I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, journalists, so Bridlewood, who's obviously a very historic farm here in town. So
Indeed.
yeah, the Derby is only one race, but it's the one that's recognizable for everybody in the world. So
that's right. It is the world
There's
stage.
a lot of races that horses that we have sold have won, but that's one race that even the people that don't pay attention to racing, that's the one they watch.
Amazing. Well, we're focused on the Derby and the local connections for this broadcast, but make sure you check back in with the Horse Talk Show, because we do have another little chat with Tom about decoupling. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show on the Equus Television Network and also for the CEP's Equine Initiative, visiting here at Ocala Breeder Sales at the barn of Tom McCrocklin. I think many years have gone by now that I have seen his horses in top graded stakes races. Never had a chance to chat to him about one before. Very excited about Sandman right now, who is in the wonderful care and training of Mark Casse and his team, who's in the Hall of Fame for America and Canada, and we certainly see Sandman as having a great chance and opportunity. And as Tom just said, getting into the Derby by itself is such an achievement. Tom, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
You've been doing this for a bit, haven't you?
Yes, came to Ocala in 1992.
Wow, so 8 or 9 years before I got here.
Yeah, been here a while, been plugging away.
Plugging away. I know you used to be a customer of mine at Tack Shack way back in the day, and you used to love it when you came in and got all your needs taken care of here for the horses.
Well, it's great for the local economy. Obviously, we're driven by the horse industry here, so it's a team effort.
Indeed.
To support each other.
Exactly. Equine industry is worth $4.3 billion a year in Marion County as of 2023, and that number's climbing. So we know OBS and the 2-year-old in training sales are a huge part of that. And we love to see so many of the grads make it into the top stakes races, and you've had quite a few.
I think we're a feeding ground. We are pretty much like the Major League draft, the NFL draft. This is where the future stars come from. They're developed here. They're bought by a lot of the local horsemen that are some of the finest horsemen on the planet. They have a great eye for a horse, and they're great at breaking and training and developing young horses.
Talk to us a little bit about Sandman. How long you had him for and kind of what your thoughts were when he was training.
We had Sandman last year as a 2-year-old. Unfortunately, Mr. Bob Lothenbach passed away, and we were employed by the estate to sell his 2-year-olds, and Sandman was one of that group, and he was always the standout of that group. Extremely well-bred horse by Tappet, physically conformed, really beautifully made colt, and had a tremendous pedigree as well. So he had all the ingredients to be a really good racehorse prospect. And unfortunately, Mr. Lothenbach passed away, and a year later, the colt that he bred's going to the Derby, and he's one of the favorites.
It's amazing, isn't it? Exciting stuff. And with Mark Casse, of course, who we would love to see win a Derby. Mark is a great trainer, so he's in very good hands for that.
Well, if big picture, Mark's father, Norm, was one of the founders of OBS, so it's really been passed on through a lot of generations, and Mark's a Hall of Fame trainer, and he's got a really good colt, and he's primed to run a really big race in the Derby.
Very exciting. Tell us a little bit about kind of your program and what you do with the horses, because obviously you've had huge success. You've had a lot of horses make it into the top graded stakes races. And you mentioned when I was chatting to you a few minutes ago about protecting these horses and looking after them and giving them the best possible training so that their future career in racing is successful.
Well, the industry has evolved so much. Back in the day at OBS, we would gallop horses, and then we would go, it evolved to breezing slowly in company. And then it's just, it's very much like track and field, swimming, Olympic sports. The athletes have gotten bigger, stronger, faster. The nutrition has evolved to world-class nutrition. So to answer your question, our program at the farm it's all about the horse. We demand top-notch nutrition, top-notch training, riders, veterinarians, blacksmiths, facilities, and you need all those ingredients to give a horse a chance to be a good horse. Now, the one thing we can't do is we can't make a slow horse run fast. But what we can do is we can allow an equine athlete to realize their potential. And, you know, Sandman was always meant to be a good horse. He's just special, he's different. Like many of the horses in the Derby, they're just better. They're better equine athletes. And they're trained by some brilliant horse trainers. So like these professional sports teams, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, they have the best nutrition, the best therapy. We have equine therapists come in here and work on these horses all the time. We have world-class veterinarians. We have world-class nutrition, blacksmiths, riders. They need the best of everything to give them a chance because it's extremely competitive. These horses cost a ton of money and they're deserving of the best. And they will tend to, the cream will rise to the top. Good horses will rise to the top. The ones that can get through the process, it's Navy SEAL training. You're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. It's survival of the fittest. And you know, the Derby's only one day a year and you gotta be ready on that day. So.
And making it into the top 20 is a really big deal.
Making it in the top 20 is a really big deal. To walk in that starting gate on the first Saturday in May is a huge accomplishment. And then when you get there, obviously you wanna win it. You wanna run well, you wanna have but we also want these horses to have a good clean trip and pull ups down.
Absolutely. So. Now what about Tappet personality colts? They can be a little spicy at times.
Tappets are horrible, horribly mannered colts. He was a perfect gentleman.
Really?
He really was completely different. I've had Tappet colts that I just couldn't castrate fast enough.
Because they were a handful, yeah.
He was a very, very classy horse. And to me, a lot of people ask horse trainers to define class. A lot of it to me with a horse's intelligence and how to behave and how to control themselves. Because he's still a colt. He's full of testosterone and he's young, but he knows how to manage his behavior. So,
well, we're excited to see him run. Will you be in Kentucky?
We're very excited. I think I'm going to stay here. I'm a little socially awkward, so I'm gonna just watch in my living room. So
well, we're very excited for you.
I do much better with the horses than with people.
I get that.
So.
I understand. Yes, the four-leggeds, they do us right, don't they?
Yes.
Thank you, Tom McCrocken.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you on giving this horse a great start, a great opportunity to go on, and we certainly hope to see him in the winner's circle on the first Saturday in May.
Thank you. We're real proud of him. So.
Well done. Tom McCrocken here at OBS, Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show in the Equus TV network, also here for the CEP's Equine Initiative, talking to Hall of Famer Mark Casse. And we've got a lot to talk about, but he's in a rush as usual because he's a busy man, so we'll make it fast. Very excited about Sandman.
As am I. As am I. He's doing extremely well, and we're excited for the first Saturday of May.
Talked to Tom McLaughlin a couple of days ago here, and he had lots of good things to say about a very classy horse. I asked him about the Tappet personality, and he said, this one, unbelievable class. Great
agree.
horse.
Yeah, no, we don't hit any of that. He is just a pure gentleman.
That's wonderful. Talk to us a little bit about this sale. It's been great.
It has.
1,200 plus horses in it.
Yeah, it's sold, I think 6 or 7 millionaires already sold this year, so that's exciting. And, good horses are bringing a lot of money.
When are you heading off to Kentucky?
Well, I was going Sunday until my wife informed me that it was Easter. So I changed my reservations this morning. I'm flying out on Monday.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we're planning on breezing Ocala, who's one of the favorites for the Oaks, on Tuesday. And then Sandman is scheduled to breeze on Wednesday.
Amazing. So talk to us just briefly. We have a wonderful segment in the beginning of this special Local Connections broadcast with Tom Ventura, and we talk a lot about decoupling. Mm-hmm. Can you give us a quick mention for that?
Well, I've been, very involved. I told the governor, I met the governor maybe about a month ago, and I told him, I said, I've been training for 47 years and been in politics for about 30 days now. So now I'm at 60 days. I've already been to Tallahassee more times in the last 60 days than I have in my entire life. So it was great to have him here yesterday. I feel it was a very positive meeting. It's been a struggle beyond belief. Industry as great as ours to be even considered where it could hurt us. The good news is I feel stronger today than ever that when the dust clears, that we're going to come out of this stronger and better. There's gonna be some growing pains. There's gonna be some changes. We're working night and day. It hasn't stopped. And as I told my son, Colby, he has girlfriend Taylor Davis. They're both into horses.
Please don't say girlfriend, because that means he's older than I think he is.
He's 22, so
oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
So anyways, they were concerned. They're concerned for their future. And I told them, don't worry.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Okay, he was like this big when I met you,
Yeah.
so oof, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
It will be okay. You're right. It's all going to work out. I know. We've had so much support from everybody. The chamber wrote a letter, saying no decoupling. I think that we've all stood together on this, so it's a good thing.
I would say I've been in the horse business now almost 50 years. I've never seen so many horse people come together for a common cause, and it's great when it happens. And I think they awoke a sleeping lion, and we're not going to let something like this happen again.
No, definitely the lion is roaring, so maybe we can put a stop to this forever, which would be the ultimate goal, right?
Well, we're going to, we have to make some changes, and we needed a wake-up call. I feel like we can come out of this bigger and better, and we're going to see our industry here in Florida prosper.
In agreement with you there. Mark Casse, Hall of Fame trainer. Nothing more than we'd like to see him in the winner's circle at the Kentucky Derby. We'll be there cheering him on for sure. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog, and more. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative, and we are at Ocala Breeder Sales for the 2-year-old in training sale, coming up to the Kentucky Derby. And who better to talk to who lives right here in Ocala, Marion County, and that is Jacinta Vasquez. Jacinta, it's so good to have you with us again. It's been a while.
Thank you.
So we're here at OBS. You must love watching these sales, right? Seeing these potential champions going through the sale, right?
Oh, it's a thrill to come and watch out these horses, to develop and go to the racetrack and become famous
Like you.
like me.
Yes. So you have won 6,700 races, is that right?
6,300.
6,300. Okay, so 6,300 races in your riding career.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
About 15.
15.
Yeah.
And you were riding until about a year ago?
About a year ago, still riding.
And
yeah.
you're 81.
81.
That's amazing. And you're playing golf and walking and you're fit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I had to do something.
Stay fit?
Stay
Yeah.
fit.
So tell us, what's the big difference you see in being a jockey and getting to the top now compared to when you were younger and you got your start?
Well, there was a lot of competition during my time. You know, there was a lot of good riders. You know, a lot of racetracks. You know, there was Chicago, Maryland, New Jersey, California, Kentucky, and every place, those places, there used to be 10, 15 good riders. And in winter time, we all used to get together in Miami. There was 300 riders and only half of the riders don't even ride.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of riders.
Yeah.
So tell us about the famous horses that you've ridden.
Well, I like the horse that win the Florida Derby, Tappet. So,
Tappet,
yeah.
Tappan, what did we say his
Street.
name was? Yes.
And same man, the horse that win the
Sandman.
Arkansas Derby. The horse that finished second on, and the Florida Derby looked like
Sovereignty.
Another
Another good horse, yes.
But that race is hard to predict who can win that race. Every year, some long shot beats somebody.
I know. It just blows your mind. I always try and bet on a long shot just in case, because you never know. It's whoever gets the best trip, right?
Yeah, you got to be lucky. I won 2 derbies and I was very lucky. The first derby, I took a chance to get beat or win it. I stayed inside and I got through. And I went around 2 horses in a stretch.
So you won 2 Kentucky Derbies.
Yeah.
Tell us about the famous horses that you rode.
Gosh.
Ruffian.
I rode Ruffian, Stone Cats, Mr. Prospector, Boat Racing, and Cielo Slew's father. And I rode a lot of good horses.
You won a lot of good horses.
Yeah, and I rode a lot of horses that could have been a good horses, famous horses, but they got hurt and never run again.
And you are the jockey that beat Secretariat.
Well, I was lucky enough to catch him on a bad day.
He didn't have too many of those, did he?
No, he don't have too many bad days.
What race did you beat him in?
The Wood Memorial and Whitney's in Saratoga. And the first time he run, I was number 3, he was number 2, and my horse Lunch, coming out of the gate, I almost killed the secretary and another horse. I cost him the race.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not intentionally.
Not intentionally, it just happens, right?
Yeah, that's happened. He wound up last, and then he came around and finished 4th in the race.
Oh, my gosh. That was an eventful race. Did you ever think, like, looking forward after that, to how incredibly famous that he would be this super horse forever?
Well, we had an idea. He was very promising in the morning. He had a lot of good workout and very promising. Could be a real good horse. And he come from a good family too. Bo Rula are married to produce about 10 stake horses.
That's right.
So he had all the equipment to be, and bloodline to be a good horse.
And you're the only jockey that ever beat him, so that's pretty exciting stuff, right?
Yeah.
A big claim to fame.
Yeah. Well, we all have a bad day once in a while. So,
It was a good day for you, so. And you might be at the Kentucky Derby this year.
yeah, maybe.
Good. Well, I hope we get to see you there.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you so much for chatting to us,
All right.
Jacinta
Thank you.
Vasquez. It's really an honor and a
Okay.
pleasure to have such a famous jockey sharing a little insight with us on the horse racing world. Coming up to the Kentucky Derby here at OBS, Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative, and we are at Ocala Breeder Sales for the 2-year-old in training sale, visiting the barn of the iconic Ocala stud, chatting again to David O'Farrell about a wonderful contender in the Derby, Owen Almighty. We're very excited that you have a horse in the Derby again.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the Derby, represented by a really nice colt, Owen Almighty. He won the Tampa Bay Derby, and he didn't fare so well in the Bluegrass Stakes, but the owners are ready to take a shot at the Kentucky Derby, where anything can happen.
I love that, and they're newer owners, right? So they're newer in the horse racing.
They are. They're great owners of the game, fairly new to the business, and they've had a lot of success early on, and we're excited for them to take a shot at the biggest stage.
Yes, and Owen Almighty got back in today, and I was excited to see that. Knew I had to track you down right away. What do you think of him as far as his chances go?
Well, the Derby, you have to be lucky to win the Derby. It's 20 horse field, anything can happen. He's a very well-bred colt. He's a very handy horse. The distance is the big question mark, but if the pace falls apart, or maybe he's up on the pace, who knows? Anything can happen, and maybe he'll be, close to the wire first.
It's a chance of a lifetime to be in, so who wouldn't want to try, right?
That's right.
Let's switch gears just for a minute and just briefly cover, I know you're very busy, so I don't want to keep you very long, but I just want to briefly talk about decoupling. We talked to Tom Ventura today about it. It's a really huge, big deal, and for Ocala Stud, who's been around here forever and is truly a foundation part of what makes Ocala really important in the thoroughbred racing world. Can you just speak to that just a little for us?
Yeah, it's really an attack on our industry. This thing was dropped on us in early January, and the industry really hasn't had a whole lot of time to respond and find compromise or viable solutions moving forward. So, we're just really asking for time to get things sorted out so that we can have a little more certainty for our long-term future.
It's a really important, huge part of the equine industry here in Marion County and beyond even, but certainly to Ocala Stud, it's huge. I mean, you guys have been working in this industry for so long, and it's such a vital part of a $4.3 billion industry, so it's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. It has a lot of trickle-down effect. It's not just the jobs and the economic impact, it's the tourism that it brings. And it's a signature industry in the state. It's an industry that's been here for a long time. It promotes a lot of green space and a lot of agricultural benefits. So it's more than just it's the jobs are extremely important, but there's so many things to it that provide so much benefit to the state of Florida.
No doubt about it. David O'Farrell, Ocala Stud, thank you so much for being with us. We wish Owen Almighty all the best. We can't wait to see him run his race. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative on the Equus Television Network, and we are doing our very special Local Connections broadcast, trying to talk to as many of the local connections to the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks as possible. And we're very excited to be here with Helen Barbizon, who is a very well-known name in thoroughbred breeding here at Pleasant Acres, just north of Ocala in Williston. And we're going to chat to her a little bit about a horse that's on the Derby trail. He's in spot number 22. By the time this broadcasts, he might be in that top 20. So we are certainly hoping for that, and it's very exciting to have a Florida bred. So, Helen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being my guard earlier for the other interview I was doing. That was very helpful.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit briefly about Pleasant Acres before we kind of get to the horse himself.
Well, Joe and I started in 1983. We've been doing this all of our lives. And our goal was to create a nice stallion operation. So we finally had the opportunity to do that. And every year we're trying to bring better and better stallions to the state of Florida to give breeders the opportunity to breed some good sire lines. So that was our goal, and we feel like we've done that. A couple of them have already left us. They came. We actually made them better by breeding them here, and then they left. So we're excited. I mean, we have some really top sires this year, so we're excited about all them. And of course, Neolithic has been doing very well. Leinster's been doing very well. So, we have some big name Kentucky people that have come to the farm, and they've looked at them, looked at babies. So we're excited. We're excited.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, how many stallions do you have there right now?
10.
Wow.
10.
That's quite a bit.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do they all get fairly full over the season?
Pretty much, yes. We've got the Tappet, we've got Leinster, the Majestic Warrior, and Justify, Verifying. He's very popular. Doppelganger, Into Mischief. So, those lines,
those are all, yes.
Yeah, very popular lines. So, yes, they all get very busy because everybody has a different pocketbook, everybody has different tastes, and their mare needs different bloodlines. So we're kind of, trying to give everybody something. So
that's amazing.
Yes. So, and the babies that we've seen, Doppelganger babies, they're very, very big. Simplification is another one that's very big foals. So we're excited about them too. They have a lot of leg. It's always nice to see that in babies. So we're excited to see the future. And also, I think there's a Leinster running today that we're excited about. So out of a very expensive mare. So we think he's going to be sire stakes material.
Well, that's awesome news, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just touch on very exciting, looking forward to, and as I said, by the time this is edited and broadcast, it could well be the case that Nearquist is in that top 20, especially being at number 22. One thing I will say is, hats off to the authorities in the horse racing safety and the fact that at times if a horse is, and of course we don't wish this for any of the top 20, but if there is an issue or a fever or a possible injury or anything that even looks slightly concerning, horses can, up to a very short period of time before the Derby, not actually run. And when that happens, horse 21, 22, 23 can get into that top 20. And Nearquist right now sitting there at number 22 is very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. We talked to Safi the other day because I was unsure whether he was going to run the horse in it. And he said, no, we're going to go. We're game. So I have a lot of faith in Safi. He's a great trainer and he's excited about it. So we'll see. We'll see what the horse does and see if he's going to step up. I think he will. He's very speedy. I know he'll be in the front, but the question is, will he be able to hang in there with the rest of them? So that will be exciting. It'll be fun to watch. We've never actually had one that we bred in the Derby. We've had several in the Breeders' Cup. The last one that was going to be was Arthur's Ride, and then he got hurt. So he
I
was
love that
sidelined.
horse.
Yeah,
so
he went to the Breeders' Cup he ran. They tried to raid him because he was going way out in the front. So they tried to raid him. He got stuck in the pack, and it was just ended up being a bad race. But then he got a bone bruise, so he was sidelined. I think he's right now coming back into training. So we do have his siblings, his sisters, that are back and foal, one to Flightline and one to Tappet. So
Nice.
they're very close family.
Yes.
So we're excited about them. But yeah, we think Neoquist is going to be fun to watch. We think, you know, he might do. Who knows?
Who
You know,
knows?
who knows? You don't know unless you run.
So what was he like as a young one?
Well, we loved him. You know, when you look at the foals out in your fields, and there's some that you really, really like. He was one of them. He was one that we really liked.
Like a
We're in
standout.
partners with Matalona, of course, and they liked him as well. So, but we decided we can't keep them all, and that's the way it is. We just can't keep them all. So you got to pick, and somebody, you know, has to go to the sale. So he was just one of them. I think he sold for $22,000. So when we put them in the sale, they go. You know,
Yes.
we're not gonna, you know. So, you know, I'm glad for the people that got him. I'm glad, and it's great for Neolithic,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes,
So
indeed.
we just hope the best. We hope the best for everybody, and we hope everybody has a safe race, and they all do very well.
Well, being in the top 22 of the, being in the top 30 or 40, in my opinion, is huge.
yeah.
So what an accomplishment for him to be literally on the cusp of being in. And you know, certainly if he gets in, we'll be rooting for him, because we love to see a Florida bred and a local horse who had his total start all here go on and do great things. And I'm sure even if he doesn't end up in the top 20, we're going to see him in some great races.
Right,
So
I think so.
He's
Yes.
up there.
Yes.
He's up there already.
Yeah,
So
he'll do well wherever he goes, but let's see if he can run with the big guys up there in the Derby. That'll be fun.
it's a tough race,
It'll be
you
fun.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
You
it
never
is.
know. It all depends on
It is. And it depends on
the
the
race.
weather.
Yes,
you know,
and the weather
How
and
how
the
often
start,
has it been,
everything. Yes.
Yeah, muddy. So we don't know. There's so much up in the air that's, you know, left undecided. So we'll see. But just having the opportunity to be there is exciting for
Sure
Florida.
is.
It's exciting for Neo and all the shareholders of that horse. You know, it's been a long time.
That's
so,
wonderful.
He had one good one in the beginning of his career that got sidelined, but you know, he's gotten a lot of nice babies. I think he's going to be one of the top sires in Florida. So that will be exciting to see. FWBOA usually has their award banquet, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see, yeah.
With Neo, but he's right up there as far as numbers with his babies. So we're excited about him.
wonderful.
We're excited.
Well, hats off to you guys, your team, and congratulations on such a huge honor. And you know, we're going to be watching closely. We're going to be up there, and I always take my rubber wellies in case it, you know, rains. Now I'm ready, but we'll be all around, you know, keeping the connections. There's lots of great connections to this area already. So very excited about all of that. So well done to you and Joe.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Helen Barbazon from Pleasant Acres. We're here at OBS talking about the Ocala Marion County connections to the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks, and it's always exciting. Louisa
is.
Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of the Horse Talk Show, Talking Derby. And I've got my very favorite guest with me. Love having him on the show. And that is Hall of Fame turf writer, Steve Haskin. Steve, thank you for being with us.
Anytime, Louisa, anytime.
I know. I love that you always come on with your
pleasure.
wealth of wisdom for us, because there's a lot of exciting horses in this run for the Roses this year, right?
Yeah, we'll at least have wealth with something. Not money, but if you can't have wealth with money, I guess wisdom is okay.
That's right.
Big gap, but it's still okay. That you were saying about the Derby?
Yes, the Derby. We've got a lot of nice Ocala connections, which we always, you know, we like to follow those, of course, since we are here in Ocala, Marion County. We love to follow those, and of course, Eddie Woods has some grads in again. Dear Eddie Woods, who's retiring from
I know.
from training.
I know. I love Eddie. I talk to him all the time. I saw him being interviewed on one of the podcasts that he was retired. I didn't realize he was retiring.
Yes. He went out with a bang, though, Steve, because his last sale, the one before the sale we just had last week, he had a $3 million horse go through. And
$3 million?
yes,
Really?
$3 million. And I think he had another just under $1.5 million in this sale last week too. So
wow.
He's definitely going out with a bang, and then having a couple of grads in the Derby and a grad in the Oaks as well is exciting.
I know.
Yeah.
Now refresh my memory. You know, I can't remember who does he have in the Derby?
He trained Rodriguez.
Right,
and he also trained Citizen Bull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Baffert and Baffert.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. It's, you know, the funny thing is that they're both owned by the same group. As was Matticat Road, who was in the Derby for a while. And I'm saying, well, these people, the owners, they're going to run 3 horses in the Derby, all speed horses.
I know.
You know?
It's interesting, isn't it?
They have 2, but knowing Baffert, one of those will rate. They won't go head and head, that's for sure.
No. Well, you know, I always say, and I've told Eddie Woods this before, that an Eddie Woods grad in the barn of Bob Baffert and Jimmy Barnes is hard to beat, because at Eddie Woods Farm, they get a great foundation and good training, and they come out of that with the best chance they have to be successful. And when they get in the hands of Bob Baffert, you know, in the Derby, it's hard to beat him. So there's a really good chance that, you know, one of these 2 horses could put a really good fight in for the win. So
yeah. Citizen Bull's going to have to improve off last time, but Bob said he undertrained him. Because he thought that he was basically he's going to be his only Derby horse. Because he thought, you know, Barnes just got knocked out in that last race, and you know, he just really wasn't ready. He only had the 2 sprint races, and at the time, you know, well, he was having problems with Rodriguez, you know, who was losing his composure before races, and he just wasn't acting professionally. And he thought, well, it's going to be Citizen Bull. But then Rodriguez, he took the blinkers off Rodriguez, and by doing that, he made him faster. So when with Memorial, he was so professional. He ran such an incredible race that Bob said, if I knew Rodriguez was going to run that well, I would have trained Citizen Bull harder. Yeah.
I always think it's interesting when you've got several horses, 2 or 3 horses in the same race, and you're in it all with the same trainer. That's got to be really, really difficult, I think. I don't know. For me, I think it would be hard. So that's great for him, though, especially you know, being as he's had an absence from the Derby for a bit. You know, it's nice to.
He wants to get back.
Yes, he wants to get right back into it. So, as far as I know, and I could be wrong on this, but the last time I checked, Neoquus had made it into the top 20. And yes, and he's a Florida bred.
He will be in. He still needs 1 to come out, but that's most likely going to be built. I don't think they're going to run built. They shouldn't.
That's what I heard as well. Yes.
I don't think they will, but if built does come out as expected and goes into Pat Day, then Neoquus will get in.
Yes, and I had a chance
another speed horse.
I know, and I had a chance to chat to Helen Barbizon at Pleasant Acres, where he was born in Williston, just north of Ocala, and she had a lot of good things to say about him. She really liked him as a good contender, you know, in this race, and we'd be excited because he's a Florida bred, you know.
Right. Well, he's tough. He's a tough horse. You know, he's got speed, but he hangs around. I mean, he's running right there. He's right with everybody. He's one of those horses that you look at the first 2 finishes, and then you don't even realize that Neoquus is like a length back, and you don't even notice him. But he doesn't tire.
No, he's a pretty cool horse. Really is. So what do you think of Sandman? I'm very interested in this horse. I am definitely going to do I gamble twice a year. I gamble at the Kentucky Derby and at the Breeders' Cup. Those are my two times that I go ahead and put a bit of money on a couple of horses just because I'm there and it's fun. But I really like Sandman. I have wanted, we call him Ocala's Mark Casse, Hall of Fame trainer. We claim him, he's ours. And I would love for him to have a Kentucky Derby win because I think he just has so earned it. And then there's a little double connect here back to Ocala because he actually was sold out of an estate by Tom McLaughlin, and Tom had a lot of good things to say about him when I talked to him. He said he just was all class, not a typical Tappet personality. Some of them are difficult. He was not that way. He was just a really good, straightforward horse. And I don't know, he could be one to beat.
Well, let's put it this way, by the way, as I've done in the past, if he wins, I'll be calling you with phone numbers.
Hey, listen, that's more than a fair trade for all your wonderful wisdom. So.
Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, you got a great behind-the-scenes human interest story." I said, "Yeah, but I didn't. I got it from my Florida source."
Well, I love being your Florida source, so that's a good thing.
I mean, you gave me so much information, especially like on Rich Strike. I'm ready for the Derby right now.
Good. Well, thank you for talking Derby to me. Always so lovely to chat to you, Steve. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Steve Haskin,
Bye-bye.
Hall of Fame turf writer. We love having him on the show. He tells us so much. Hey, things could change between now and Derby Day, but you've got some good idea, and the horses in the run for the roses. We know it'll be the two most exciting minutes in sports because it always is. Thank you for joining us for this special broadcast covering the local connections to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. We hope you enjoyed it. And again, as I mentioned before, if we've missed any local connections, we would love to hear from you at the Horse Talk Show page on Facebook. We'll also be updating you from Kentucky on those races as we will be there at the barns at Churchill Downs, bringing you as much coverage as we possibly can. I want to say a special thanks again to our sponsors. Presenting sponsors, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care and Larson Farms. Our supporting sponsors, Piranha Animal Health, Seminole Feed Stores, the CEP's Equine Initiative, and Ocala Dog Ranch.